This video is kindly brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to create a beautiful online presence.
Hi, my name's Janelle and welcome back to Rosery Apparel. It is a super cozy, drizzly winter's day today and it's the perfect weather to do a bit of sewing, so I've decided to pull out my Japanese sewing pattern books again to have a go at attempting one of these patterns today. I made this dress here actually a few months ago using this pattern book. It's the dress I'm wearing today and it turned out so much better than I was expecting. I had so much fun making this dress and I also really enjoyed the challenge of sewing with a sewing pattern completely written in Japanese. So much so that I'm gonna have another go at doing the same today. The fabric I'm going to be making the garment out of today is this leftover broderie on glaze fabric that I actually purchased in Japan. It's got this beautiful grid design and the little squares almost remind me of little biscuits. I fell in love with this fabric when I saw it and I have already made a dress from this fabric, but the dress is very summery. Definitely not the sort of dress I'm reaching to wear at this time of the year, but I loved how it turned out and I'm so happy there's a bit of leftover fabric because now I can make something that hopefully will be a little bit more winter appropriate because yeah, I just basically want to wear this fabric. It's just so pretty. Because I don't have all that much fabric there, I'm thinking I will attempt to make a blouse from one of these books. I have had a bit of a flick through and I've found a couple of blouses that I really like the look of. The first one is this blouse on the front of this book here. It's a beautiful high neck gathered bodice blouse with quite puffy balloon style sleeves. I think it is stunning. Definitely a good one for winter as well. I was pretty much 100% sure I was going to make this blouse, but just then I had a flick through this book here and found this boxy button-up collared blouse. I don't know, there's something about the boxy oversized fit of this blouse is just screaming Japanese fashion to me, and I think out of this fabric could look really beautiful. It's just like a super delicate feminine fabric in this kind of more masculine style shirt could look really nice. And this fabric here does have a really beautiful scalloped border that I think could be really fun to implement in that style of shirt. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to have a bit more of a think about it. I've actually put a poll up on my Instagram to see what other people are thinking between those two options. So I will check that and let you know which one I decide on making. So at the moment, the poll, I don't know if you can see that, is 60% for the top blouse and 40% for the bottom. And I've just had a look through the instructions and the top blouse or the balloon sleeve blouse actually comes in a dress version, and I honestly think I would get more wear out of this style in a dress than I would a blouse. It's so hard to make a decision with these things. It's just too many to choose from. I should have just bought one book. I think what I'm gonna do is go the button-up blouse. I just think I can have a bit more fun experimenting with the bottom scalloped edge of this fabric with this style. I think I could make something really pretty and really unique, and I also have quite a few puffy sleeve blouses in my wardrobe already, but I don't really have many button-up traditional shirts. So I think it could be a really fun addition to my wardrobe. So yeah, this is the one I'm gonna be making today. I'm glad I've come to a decision. So first things first, I need to trace out the pattern pieces from this big piece of paper. If you watched my last Sewing to Japanese pattern video, then you'll know how hectic this paper is and how hard it is to find the different template pieces to trace. I feel like that's the hardest part. The rest is just following pictures. But I have to say these illustrations are looking pretty intense. I don't know how easy they're going to be to understand or follow, but we're gonna give it a try. Already, I thought I'd come across a major problem, but I think I figured it out. So for this shirt, it's Q, right? Q is the letter I need to find to be able to find all of the template pieces on this page. Just look how hectic these templates are. Like, they're all just stacked on top of one another. So it's actually really tricky to see which template piece is which, but we'll get to that dilemma in a moment. So I'm looking for Q, but how do I know if this is Q or if it's B? But I think I've figured it out. On this side of this paper, which is side A, only the templates with these letters are on this side, whereas on side B has these letters. So that means B and Q are separated, which is a relief. So anything that looks like a B is actually a Q. But now I have the fun job of having to find all of these Q template pieces on this page of hecticness. Okay, so it turns out B and Q were the least of my problems. Because there's also D and P on this side. So that's P. Q. I have not even found a single Q yet. P. P. That's Q. This one here is Q. It's the only Q I've found. But I don't know what lines are for Q. So it goes that way. So you'd think there'd be like a line that must be the big piece. I'm so confused. This is harder than the first time I did this. This one's more hectic, I think. As I get in and start tracing out these pattern pieces, let's just take a quick break to talk about the sponsor of this video. This video has been very kindly sponsored by Squarespace. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you'll know all about Squarespace by now, but just in case you've never heard of them, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to create a beautiful online presence and launch your passion project. Whether you'd like to start making and selling your own products, create a beautiful portfolio to showcase your work, write a blog, or simply create any website of any kind, you can design and create your dream website all by yourself with Squarespace. You simply select from their range of beautifully designed templates, and then once you've chosen a template, you can then change it up and customize it as much as you like. You can change everything from the overall layout of the website and all of the fun things like the fonts and colors with just a few clicks. No background or knowledge needed in coding whatsoever. I have personally been using Squarespace to run the Rosery Apparel website and online store since 2016, and so I've had, quite a few years using the platform to sell my products. I personally sell both physical and digital products, and Squarespace just make the whole process so stress-free and easy. And if you're a service-based business, you can also sell your services seamlessly on Squarespace. And something I really appreciate about selling my products on Squarespace is the fact that I'm able to offer a range of different payment options for my customers. Just allows them to have a bit more flexibility when it comes to checking out. So if you'd like to create a website of your own, then I totally recommend you check out Squarespace using the link in the description below this video and take advantage of their free trial so you can test out just how easy it is to use for yourself. And then when you're ready to launch your beautiful new website, head to squarespace.com/roseryapparel for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. So once I'd found the first few template pieces, I did eventually get the hang of looking past all of the busyness of all of the lines to be able to find all of the cute template pieces. This part does always take so much longer than you'd expect though. And then once the template pieces had all been traced, it was time to start cutting them out of my fabric. I'm just about to start laying the template pieces out onto my fabric, and like I mentioned, I want to make sure I use this scalloped edge as much as possible throughout the design of this shirt, just to give it a fun little detail, because it is such a basic boxy shape. I think if the little scalloped edge is up along the top of the pocket and at the bottom of the shirt, I think that would look really cute. So to kind of make sure I don't have the shirt be too big, I have taken up the bottom edge of the front and back template pieces, because obviously I won't need the hemming allowance. As you can see, it's just been hemmed at the bottom of the shirt, so I won't need to be doing that. And also I've taken it up a few extra centimeters, because if it does end up being a bit too long on me, because I'm a bit shorter and I've got a smaller torso, I won't be able to just hem it up more, because I don't want to lose the scalloped edge. So I thought I would fold it up a little bit extra just to make sure it won't be too big on me. So yeah, let's get started with cutting out these template pieces. Okay, all of the template pieces are now cut out of the fabric, and as you can see, I've made sure that the scalloped edge is along the bottom of the shirt, so that is the shirt front and back. I was hoping to be able to do the same for the bottom of the sleeves, but there isn't any scalloped edge left to be able to do the sleeves as well, so they're just going to be normal. I've also done I think it's the yoke, the back yoke maybe, of the shirt, for just a little fun detail at the back of the shirt, and also the top of the pocket as well. And then here's the collar and the collar connecting piece, I believe. So the first step of this project was to apply some interfacing to the collar pieces. This will give the fabric a little bit of extra thickness and structure, which will help the finished collar stand up nicely. I have put some interfacing on one of the collars and one of the collar facings or collar connector bits, and it looks like we have to start by making the pocket and attaching it to the shirt front. Because the pocket piece that I'm using is just a square with the scalloped edge exposed, I actually don't need to do any of this interfacing fold over business. I just need to hem the raw edges and then attach the pocket to the shirt front. So that saves me a step at least. So to make the pocket, I start by hemming in each of the non-scalloped edges. And then I positioned the pocket onto one of the shirt fronts. I actually ended up using the grid design of the fabric as a guide to ensure that the pocket was positioned as straight and neatly as possible. Then I took the shirt back piece and folded some pleats along the top edge, which once done looked like this. I then placed the yoke template piece on top of the now pleated shirt back, making sure the scalloped edge will be visible along the back of the shirt. Okay, so it turns out you actually need 2 of these back yoke pieces, but I do not have any more of this scalloped edge to be able to cut another one out exactly like this. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut out one of these pieces as normal without the scalloped edge, and then have that one sit on the inside of the shirt so you won't be able to see it anyway. Don't know if that makes sense or not. It's kind kind of hard to explain, so maybe I'll just show you. So as you can see, I have just done these little pleats at the top of the shirt back, and now, according to this picture, I need to attach 2 of these back yokes to the shirt back. You can just see a slight little section of another shirt there. Oh, this gives a better idea. And then join the 2 together along the neck edge. I think this is done to help make the inside of the shirt look really nice and neatly finished. Luckily, I had enough fabric to quickly cut out another yoke piece, and then I started by stitching just this piece to the back of the shirt. Once stitched, I gave the seam a good press with my iron, and then placed the scalloped yoke onto the right side of the back shirt piece, making sure that it lined up nicely with the other yoke I just stitched in place. I then stitched this yoke in place along the scalloped edge, which once stitched looked a little something like this. Next, I stitched the front shirt pieces to the back with the right sides together along the shoulders. This is what the shirt is looking like. How cute is this fabric? So as you can see, the scalloped edge goes along the back yoke, which I'm super happy with. I think it looks adorable, and I love that the same little scallop detail is on the pocket at the front of the shirt. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here for today. I've just been like looking at what I have to do next. So I've just attached the front shirt pieces to the back, and I have no idea what's happening here, and I've been looking at it for ages. I just think it's the time of day where my brain has stopped working. So yeah, I think I'll pick this up tomorrow, but hopefully in the morning after a good night's sleep I'll be able to figure this out, because like, I don't know, it looks like it's the side of the shirt, but how do I attach the sleeves? Do I just do that? I don't know. We'll figure it out in the morning. Day 2 of sewing this Japanese sewing pattern. It is another beautifully rainy, cozy day today, and the perfect weather for sewing. I am loving how this blouse is looking so far. It is the perfect kind of simple design to be able to add all of these little scalloped details to it. Like, I just think it's looking so cute. So we've got the little pocket at the front, which is adorable, and then I love this detail at the back with the back yoke and the scalloped edge along the back. I just think that is so pretty, and yeah, it's just a fun way to add a bit of an interesting feature to this blouse because it is such a simple design. Yeah, I think it's the perfect fabric for this project. I have had a bit more of a read of the instructions, well, a bit more of a read of the pictures of the instructions, and I think they've accidentally just skipped a few steps because the steps are numbered, kind of. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it jumps to 7, and then it jumps to 9, and then 10, 11. So it's like the steps of putting the sleeves and stitching the sleeves up have been skipped accidentally, and then something else has been skipped between step 7 and 9, I think, but I don't know what that is yet. I'm not up to that. But honestly, sewing the sleeves is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to attach them now and then sew the side seams of the entire shirt together. So I don't think it's going to be any more complicated than that. And then I'll just hem the sleeves like I normally would. And then the actual side of the blouse has a kind of little slit, which might be a little bit problematic with the scalloped hem that I've kept raw here, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure something out, hopefully. But yeah, I'm just gonna have my cup of tea and then get sewing. So in the end, I decided to just go for it and sew the sides of the shirt together, stopping a good 5 centimeters or 2 inches from the bottom edge in order to make the side slits. I then pressed the seam open and then stitched the pressed seams around the slit in place. I then also hemmed the ends of the sleeves by a good 5 centimeters or 2 inches. Here is what it is looking like currently. I'm loving it. I think it's so cute. I've just made the sleeves and I love how long they are. Like, they are literally halfway down my arm. Also, hopefully you can see the cute little scallop details at the back of the shirt. But now I need to like fold in these front edges to make where the buttons and buttonholes are going to be. And then I need to make the collar of the shirt, which is the part I'm most apprehensive about, because that is when the instructions get a little bit intense and a little bit hard to understand. But I have made a shirt like this before, so hopefully I will remember how to go about making the collar. It's a little bit fiddly from memory, but it should work out fine. Super happy with how this shirt is looking. It's going to be a really nice one, I think, to just like have open over the top of t-shirts and stuff as well over summer. It's looking like it's going to be such a nice addition to my wardrobe. I'm really happy about that. Also, so as you can see, this is like the side of the shirt. It has this little slit at the side and I'm so happy with how neat that looks. Like, it just looks so professional. Just having a little look at the collar instructions. Starts off nice and easy. I just need to stitch the 2 collar pieces together with right sides together, and then yeah, I don't fully understand what's happening here. I might ignore that. And then we attach the made collar to the collar connecting bits. Yeah, these. I do remember doing this before, and what I did, I actually folded one of these curved edges in with the seam allowance, and that way you can somehow like tuck the actual top neck edge of the shirt inside this little connector bit, and it just makes the whole thing look really seamless and lovely. So I might try and do that. I'll try to figure out what they're doing, but honestly, it looks confusing. So I might have to go off what I already know about making these sort of shirts to see if that works instead. Oh, I don't know. It's really tricky. Now that the collar is made, I pressed up one of the collar connector pieces in by about 1 centimeter. Then I sandwiched the collar in between the 2 connector pieces and stitched the layers together. I then turned the collar right side out and pressed the seams flat. I then stitched the collar to the shirt along the neck edge, starting by stitching the non-pressed connector piece to the inside of the shirt. and then I folded the pressed connector piece to the outside neck edge of the shirt, which nicely tucked all of the raw edges of the neck edge into the collar. I then stitched the remaining part of the collar in place. Okay, the collar is in. Look how cute it is. I don't know, this fabric just works so well for this style of blouse. Sleeves are done, collar's done. Yeah, very happy with how it turned out. Like, it's not that neat on the inside, but on the outside, if I can show you, yeah, I'm really happy with that. Right, so now I'm up to the last step. I can't believe this. I'm already up to the last step. I need to put buttons along the front. I was thinking whether or not to go large or small buttons, but I think because this is such a large, oversized, boxy shirt, larger buttons are going to look better, hopefully. What do you think? Does that look okay? I also like that these just blend in really nicely as well. Like, they're not going to be all that noticeable, which is good. Unfortunately, one little problem I have, and maybe I shouldn't point it out because now you're going to notice it as well. Maybe you wouldn't notice it, but this edge here is perfect. Like, see how the little biscuit scalloped grid design is like nicely straight along this edge. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened. I thought I cut it out perfectly, but obviously I didn't. They've gone a bit crooked here. So I've made sure that this side is going to be on the inside of the button edge, and then hopefully you won't notice it so much. I mean, you definitely can see how the biscuits go slightly skinnier down here, but I don't think it's too noticeable, and honestly, not the end of the world. I think it still looks very, very cute. So yeah, let's sew in these buttons and then I'll try it on. And then lastly, I just stitched some buttonholes along the side of the shirt that was the straightest, and I've shared a whole video on how to sew buttonholes, which I'll have a link to in the description below this video if you'd like to go and check that out. And then once the buttonholes were stitched, I also stitched some buttons onto the other side of the shirt. Again, I've shared how to stitch buttons using your sewing machine like this in the video linked below, and I am so grateful to the handful of people who commented on my videos letting me know that this was even possible, as it's the only way I stitch buttons now because it honestly is just so much quicker and easier. Oh my goodness. It is even better than I could have ever imagined. I'm so in love with this shirt. I thought it would be cute. I did not expect it to be this amazing. I am in love. Let me put some shots in now so you can get a good proper look at it. Oh, it's gotten quite sunny in here all of a sudden, but I hope you enjoyed following along as I make this dreamy, dreamy shirt. Like I said, I just was not expecting it to turn out just this amazing. I almost feel like this shirt is going to become my personality. I am so in love with it. It's also really nice to have a more basic kind of item in my wardrobe made out of this fabric. I love the dress I made with this fabric earlier on in the year, but it's definitely a very summery dress and will only ever be worn at certain times of the year and at certain kind of events. So to have something that I can wear like day to day is just, it's so exciting. I love it so much. It's definitely very different to my usual style, I think, but I also think it's going to work so well with so many different items I've already got in my wardrobe. Like, I think this styled with my gathered midi length skirts is just going to be like my go-to outfit. But yeah, this series of attempting to make Japanese sewing patterns is quickly becoming some of my favorite videos to make because the 2 items I've made so far have been 10 out of 10. Like, I love both of them so much, so I'm excited to keep going with this series and make a few more items from these books. So definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're not already, if you'd like to see more of these types of videos. I did actually just have a quick look at the books again to see what I might like to make next, and I think I'm tossing up between this really beautiful pleated gathered skirt. It's just got this really cool kind of pleated detail at the front, which I really like. Or I'm also thinking this dress. I don't know, I think that's really beautiful. I love the like ruffled sleeve detail. I also love that it's got some pin tucks along the bodice. I just think it's so cute, very me. So yeah, let me know in the comments below which out of those 2 you would like to see me make next. I'll probably end up making both eventually, but yeah, let me know which one you'd like to see first. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you so much for watching until the very end, and I'll see you in the next one.